Hello, and welcome back to this channel. Today's going to be a very fun video because today I was actually kind of thinking, you know what, wonder what I could talk about, because I really feel like lately we haven't done a ton of stuff in here, and I really feel like there's just that one video that really needs to be talked. So, I was kind of walking around and I was like, you know what, it's been a very long time, quite a few months since I've actually done a fish care video where I just talk about the fish tank, the Aquaponics fish tank. But today will be the first time I'll actually be talking about the ecosystem too, and everything you need to know about caring for your fish and making sure they have the best home as possible. So before we do go and start this fish caring video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. Let's go and start today's video. So I will say, number one, just going into feeding because I haven't feeded the fish yet. Looks like the water level is a little bit lower for where I like to keep it, but I use two different types of fish food in this. This is great for like, well, when I went to the store, I originally got this for the shrimp, but I've noticed that a lot of the fish do like it. So I'm just gonna kind of open it up, shake it a little bit, and try to get one, just get a few in there. Okay, looks like we got 4, so that is about good. To be honest, 1 to 2 could probably be good, but I do have a lot of just amazing life in this, so the fish will really thrive off of this, especially the snails. It looks like that snail right there is really enjoying life back there. Then I also use another kind of fish food, which is going to be fancy guppy. And if you guys know, I actually have a pregnant goldfish or guppy right there. Looks like the glass really needs to be cleaned also, but that's how that looks. Now, the thing that makes the ecosystem much different compared to a normal fish tank is there's not much care into it. Once the setup is actually built, all I had to do is change and clean the filter here and there, feed the fish, and that's it. I hardly clean the water unless it's to the point where it has to be cleaned. And the glass does get cleaned here and there. Lately, I've actually put a lot more life into it. So there's a lot more, well, you know, there's 4 things in it. There's beautiful snails, there are shrimp, there's guppies, and there is a catfish algae eating fish. That one is very cool, but kind of looking through this, there are indeed beautiful shrimp. There's one right there. I ended up putting 8 in it about 2 weeks ago, and for some reason, I don't know why I can hardly see them, but every so often I'll see quite a few, so I do know there's quite a few in there. And I will say ghost shrimp do camouflage and kind of hide into the greenery really well. So just keep that in mind. And same thing with this food. All you're going to want to do is just sprinkle it a little bit, especially the fact that I only have 2 guppies in this. I'm not going to need a ton. So I will be going back to this in a second. Let's go over to the ecosystem and talk about feeding those fish. So when it comes down to overfeeding, this is probably the best to overfeed it, because the more food, the more waste they produce, the more nutrients ends up going into the system. So it's always kind of a win-win. So I'm using this stuff. This stuff is great. I've seen a lot of other people use different stuff. This stuff is a little bit more expensive, but lately I've really seen it kind of 70 to 40% off on Amazon. That's how much I'm going to use. I just kind of measure it out on the cap. And then usually the fish all kind of huddle up right there. We'll kind of see all of them come up. There is a lot of fish and life in this. I don't have shrimp in this. I have a goldfish, beautiful catfish that are hiding right there behind the pump. Those are beautiful fish, and lots of goldfish too. Lots of different kinds. So we feed our goldfish and really kind of just expensive fancy goldfish too. I've added that. Those are probably the most recent goldfish I've added, to be honest. And we have a lot of snails in this. We have about 9 in this, I think. So I just added so much throughout the time, I really don't even know what I have anymore, but definitely a lot of amazing stuff happening in this. Now let's go back over to the ecosystem, finish talking about this, and then we'll go back over to the main fish tank of the room and finish the video from there. All right, so we do have a video on the channel where we completely built this ecosystem, and to be honest, if you guys have some extra time, or if you guys do want to check that video out, or if you're interested, please do so. I would really love it if you would help support that video. I honestly put about 3 months of work into preparing that video, filming it, editing it. Editing probably, I think it took about 16 hours to edit. and that is not including finding music and getting some extra footage here and there of the B-roll, all of that fun stuff. So at the end, after looking through music and all of that, it probably took about 26 hours to completely get the video ready, not including filming. So that video was very, very important to me, and to really just help the channel a little bit more and give you guys a really high quality video. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you would. That video's honestly not doing as good as I really hoped. So if you guys want to help support that video, I'd really love it if you would. Now, kind of just an overview of everything in this fish tank. We have rocks, a lot of plants in this, and lots and lots of life. We actually used spray foam in the back too, so that looks absolutely beautiful. I really hate that glare against the fish tank glass. That looks really, really bad, but I will say there's gonna be a lot in store for the future of this greenhouse, this indoor garden, so very, very excited about that. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about the Aquaponics beautiful, beautiful fish tank. So before I do just completely focus on the fish tank, I do want to kind of give you guys an overview on how aquaponics systems work if you guys are just now being introduced to that. So the thing with this is you don't have to add nutrients. So with some of these plants, we have to get nutrients, we have to mix it into the water, and then we have to do that. With this system, you put the fish in, you make sure stuff is working right, and that is it. It's a beautiful ecosystem working together to build a thriving ecosystem, I guess. But kind of with the fish tank, clean water goes in for the first time, and over time it's just kind of mixed. So I guess at this point it's not super clean now, but all that waste that the fish have produced is ammonia. It goes into the biofilter, which takes out most of the solids, or hopefully most of it. Then once it leaves, it turns into nitrate. And keep this in mind, ammonia and nitrate are very, very toxic to fish, but nitrate is even more toxic than how ammonia is. So we really don't want ammonia going back into the system. So that nitrate goes back up to the system, goes all the way through the system, and let me tell you what, nitrate is extremely, very, very good plant nutrients. So by the time it goes all the way through, all the plants have absolutely thrived off of that nutrients. So definitely a lot of amazing stuff happening there. And if you guys do want to hear a video, if you guys do want me to do a video where I talk a lot more about how it works, please let me know if you do. And let's go ahead and start talking about the fish tank. So, if you guys are noticing, or if you guys are fish experts when it does come down to fish tanks, probably noticing this fish tank does not look amazing. That's because it is indeed a clothing bin, one of the biggest I could possibly find. So, the bin has worked out pretty well. My intentions were to buy a fish tank eventually, but to be honest, over time I've kind of come up with more ideas, and it is final. When I do start building my dream aquaponics system, which will be about double the size, I will have to double all the behind the scenes stuff too. So, meaning I'm not going to fully double the fish tank size, but it'll come close to doubling the size. This fish tank is going to be absolutely incredible, and instead of using the clothing bin, we'll be buying a very fancy one, hopefully on sale. I'm going to try to get it on sale, but if I can't, I'll just have to work with the price. But this fish tank is amazing. If you know, if you kind of look around this, there wasn't a ton of like fancy stuff that went into this fish tank, like the ecosystem. So really, it's just a ton of gravel on the bottom, and I'd say about every month, all the gravel is taken out, it's all cleaned and put back in. The fish are kind of temporarily moved out of the fish tank, and they seem to really like when I do that a little bit more than when I kind of vacuum the water, or vacuum the gravel. So I will say this, the only downside about having an ecosystem is the fact that I feel like it is almost a little bit more maintenance than how like a hydroponic system was. I really will say, if you're fascinated by operation, fascinated by how stuff works, this system is really the one you want to go with. Now, when I first started this, I had no clue what I was doing. The first month was very, very tough, but I'm about 5 months in, and this has done very, very well. You can see all the snails. There's one right there. There's a few back there, but most of the fish are back there. We have a pump, a heater in this to keep the water temperature very good, a thermometer to make sure the water temperature is good enough. Looks like it's about 74 degrees right now. A little bit higher than usual because I like to have it about 72, but to be honest, if it's as long as it's under 80 and above 65, I'm still fine with that. And that's really those conditions the beautiful goldfish do thrive in. And I will say, you can use so many different types of fish. I'm using goldfish because they're very, very cheap, very beautiful, and very, very known for being good kind of house pets. And they are known for using the restroom like crazy. So they're kind of a good thing at the end of the day. But the thing that makes aquaponics even more popular when it does come down to like commercial growing is the fact that you can have both systems. So you can also do aquaculture, growing hundreds of fish while you're growing hundreds of pounds of produce. So it's kind of a win-win at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, I'm focusing on how the system works. I'm focusing on all of that. So that's kind of my game plan right now. And eventually I will switch to kind of aquaculture when I do get a bigger setup and kind of get the opportunity to move into maybe a warehouse or a greenhouse eventually. But for now, this is beautiful how the setup already is. You can also get plants. I do recommend considering real plants because it will help the fish thrive a little bit more. And what I've kind of realized is since I added the plants and the gravel, the fish have really enjoyed the fish tank a lot more. I feel like at the same time, the plants have thrived a little bit better too. I will say this, the biggest con about an ecosystem or about an aquaponics system is if something goes wrong, if the fish get disease and all of them die out, there's nothing giving nutrients to the plants. Or if all the plants happen to die out, there's nothing taking out the nitrate out of the water. So kind of what I'm saying here is when one side of the system goes down, the other one is deemed to be a failure too. So just keep that in mind. It is kind of more of a gamble in a way, more of a who knows what will happen. But at the end of the day, if I could pick one or the other, hydroponics or an aquaponics system, I would definitely pick aquaponics because it is much cooler, much, actually from what I've learned, a little bit less laborious because what I've learned from hydroponics is, well, maybe it's just me, but when I did hydroponics, I had to constantly clean the PVC, I had to constantly change the water. It was just a horrible process. Now, obviously, I do have to change the water for this, but this is a little bit easier because then I just get to pump it in instead of just kind of filling up the buckets and just walking back over. It's just a lot easier for me for this setup, and I don't know why hydroponics didn't work with me in the very beginning. I've had this entire setup for about a year and a half now, coming up on 2 years very, very soon. But with this beautiful setup, when I first started, I built 2 hydroponic systems. Eventually, I ended up moving this closest one to aquaponics, and then realized aquaponics is a lot more thrilling, a lot more fun, a lot more fun to really do at the end of the day. So I ended up completely taking out hydroponics out of the room, connecting both of the systems together, and that's where I'm at now. So very, very exciting stuff happening there. But other than that, this is going to be the end of the video. So if you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss a video, and please like this video. Thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.